So at the beginning of this film, we are shown a man named Marco who has come to meet a Russian gangster. As soon as he arrives, he gives a bag full of money to the man and asks him, "Where is my stuff?" This gangster gives him the keys to a car and tells him that her luggage is in the trunk of the car. Marco picks up the keys and leaves. Before leaving, he burns the entire warehouse where he had come to meet the gangster. He found a suitcase in the trunk of the car. After picking it up, the scene gets cut from here, and now we see the main character of the movie, Ethan, with his wife. He has come to know today that his wife is pregnant, and he is very happy to hear this. It was Christmas as well. Both of them worked at the airport. That's why both of them live for work together. Because of Christmas, there was going to be a lot of rush at the airport today. Ethan was in the security sector. That's why they are briefed first that how they had to handle all this today. After that, Ethan goes and talks to his boss that now I want a promotion. I don't want to check people at boarding. I want the job of scanning luggage. The boss was refusing him because it was not right to make any changes on that day. But his friend Jason helped him here and after asking the boss, he changes his duty. Ethan finally gets the job of scanning the bag. Now the scene cuts and we are shown an army outside the airport, in which a guy named Riley had kidnapped a man, and he was here. In just a few minutes, he also hacks all the cameras of the airports, and it is also seen that this same man has sent someone to Ethan's friend Jason's house to kidnap his family. Now when he sees the CCTV camera footage of the original airport on his mobile, he is shocked because now in place of Jason, Ethan was sitting about whom he didn't know. It was clearly visible that these people are criminals and are going to do criminal activity. To execute their purpose, they had earlier kidnapped Jason's family to blackmail him. Now, instead of that, they had to find out about Ethan's family. This hacker extracts all biodata of Ethan in a few minutes. He finds out that there is no one in Ethan's family except his wife. That's why he sends his men to search Ethan's house. From a report present there, they come to know that Ethan's wife is pregnant, and now they are using this as Ethan's weakness. And here it was seen at the airport that someone had brought Ethan's luggage to him. Seeing this luggage, he said that it is not mine. But then a message came on his mobile in which it was written that put these earphones in your ears. He was surprised and he picked up the earphones and put them in the ears. As soon as he put the earbuds in his ear, the man starts talking to Ethan and says to him that if you love your life and your wife's life, then do as I say. Ethan was not able to understand his words. Then the man said that you don't have to do much. After a little while, one of my men wearing a red cap will bring you a suitcase. Just after scanning him, you have to quietly pass him forward without saying anything. If you do this, then consider that your and your wife's life is saved. He doesn't act cunningly. That is why the man assures him that he is keeping a close eye on Ethan, and he also knows where Ethan's wife is at this time, because all this research was done by Riley and given to him. After hearing all this, Ethan gets a little scared and puts the phone under the desk and calls the police. But these people had their eyes completely on Ethan. They see him and tell Ethan to disconnect the call and not tell anything to the police, or else something bad will happen. Believe it or not, but at this time one of the men has pointed a rifle at your wife's head. Your single mistake will take her life. While that man was talking to Ethan, the police had also received the call, but Ethan didn't tell anything to the police and disconnected the call. After doing this, the man understood that Ethan was going to follow his instructions. He asked Ethan to get his mobile locked in the locker and asked the man, "Are you a terrorist?" The man replied, "No, I am not a terrorist. Someone has asked me to do a job." Ethan asked him this question after a lot of thought. Finally, he asked what was in the suitcase. The man replied that there was no need for you to know, and even if you found out, you should keep your mouth shut. If the suitcase didn't reach the plane or someone opened it, then you and your wife are killed. Ethan tells him that I am sitting here now. If Jason was here, then what would you people have done? Jason would also have been ready to do this work because we have kidnapped Jason's family too. It means these people are planning the whole thing. Ethan tries to show his smartness for the second time and writes a message on the smartwatch he has with him. This was also noticed by Riley, who was sitting outside the airport in the van and who had hacked the CCTV cameras. Tells the man who was talking to Ethan. He tells Ethan, "You are making mistakes again and again. You will not give you so many chances. Go and keep this smartwatch in the locker and come back." Ethan had done this by following his advice and also understood that he was doing something while sitting here. Now the scene cuts and we see the police officer Elena, who has gone to the place where Marco met the Russian gangster, and after that he destroyed the place. While investigating, he found a watch near the Russian gangster's dead body. Elena checks the watch and finds a recording chip inside it. The chip was burnt, but still she gives it to the forensic department and asks them for the data of this chip. These people are able to retrieve the data, and now they are unable to listen to the audio as the quality of the audio was deteriorated due to burning. Now we see Ethan again, and the man talking to him says that my man is going to come in a short while. Till he comes, we both will talk. Ethan, by following the sounds of the people around him, finds him around the kid airport. He guesses that this man is not looking at him. Taking advantage of this situation, he got up quickly and giving the boarding pass to the man in front of him. He wrote something with an invisible pen on the boarding pass and gave it to the police. But he didn't know that he was being monitored through CCTV. Riley saw all this and told that man. The police also came to know about the whole matter. Before this, his entire department knew about all this, that the man got up and collided with that police officer. He collided as per some plan. While colliding, he injected something into the policeman, which caused his instant death. When Ethan came back to his chair, he saw that the man was not there in his place. He looked around quickly and finally he saw the man in the crowd. Before the crowd gathered there around the police, he takes the boarding pass from the policeman and goes away from there. After seeing his face, we come to know that this man is none other but Marco, who had killed the Russian gangster in the beginning of the movie. Ethan also came and sat beside Marco. Marco read everything from the boarding pass that Ethan had written. After that, he says to Ethan, I see that you were making mistakes again and again, but this is the last chance. I have forgiven you considering it to be your last mistake, but if you commit any mistake again, I will get your wife killed, and don't take it a threat. I will really do it. Now go quietly, sit on your scanner and do my work. As soon as Ethan goes back towards the scanner, he sees that Jason has sat in place of Ethan because a policeman had suddenly died here, due to which there was chaos here and the security was tightened further. That's why the boss brought Jason back in this place. As soon as Marco came to know about this, he told Ethan to do whatever he wanted, but make Jason get up from there and sit yourself. Earlier he told this to the boss, but now the boss explained to him that the security situation is very different from before. I can't remove Jason from the scanner. Realizing the sensitivity of the matter, he took a coffee and mixed alcohol in it, after which he brought the coffee and placed it on Jason's table and complained about this to the boss. As soon as the boss saw the alcohol coffee on Jason's table, he was immediately fired from the job, although Jason was pleading that the coffee was not his. Now the scene cuts to a police officer who, after listening to the recording again and again, is trying to know about the poison. That this poison was so dangerous that whatever it fell, everything in the surrounding environment got destroyed. Here the airport scene is shown, where Ethan had taken his seat again after trapping Jason, and now the time had come when Marco's man came with the backpack for scanning. On Marco's instructions, Ethan scanned it, and Ethan came to know that there is a very dangerous weapon inside it. He didn't have much knowledge about what this weapon can do, but he understood that this weapon could definitely destroy the entire plane. It was found that the same poison was inside this plane, about which Elena was doing research a while back. Ethan's condition became so bad due to tension that he started vomiting. Marco came to the washroom to see him, and he threatened him that there is no need to be smart or else you will be killed. Ethan stops him from behind and says that there are 2,000 people in the plane in which you were carrying that weapon. That man replied, if he doesn't go in the plane, he will be blasted here, and there are 60,000 people here. You have to decide whether you want to save 2,000 people or 60,000. Ethan got worried and he asked, why are you trying to kill people? Marco replied, I am not trying to kill anyone. I am just doing my duty, and let me do that. The scene shifts back to Elena when one of her colleagues tells her that a man named Ethan had just called the police from the airport. The police even received the call, but then Ethan didn't say anything. After some time, a police officer suddenly died there, which means that something is definitely wrong there. It would take some time for Elena to reach the airport, so she first sent another force there, and they went and closed all the checking lines. Due to the checking lines being closed, Ethan's boss also gathered everyone, and all the suspected people started getting checked. Ethan now used his brain and quickly took his boss's scanner and entered Marcos man's name in it. He has checked his bag properly. After doing this, he came out, and when Marco came out, he saw that the police officers are taking his man to another room. He asked Ethan what was happening, but instead of giving any answer, Ethan said, "I am sorry. Now I can't support you." And he threw the airport out of his ears and immediately went to his wife. He wanted to save his wife. But then he saw that there was a laser on his wife's head, which meant that someone was pointing a gun at her. And he knew that if he does anything wrong, then his wife will be killed. Quietly, he came inside the bathroom. Again, he was panicked, and now Marco also followed him. Marco started hitting him. To save himself, he also took out his electric gun. He pointed at Marco, and Marco said that you were not improving. You have made many mistakes, and you will see the consequences yourself. Saying this, he activated the bomb which was in that bag and said that earlier only 2,000 people are supposed to die. Now 60,000 people will die. Saying this, he showed him the bomb which could destroy the whole place in 10 minutes. Marco told him that if you want to save everyone, then quickly go to that suitcase. Going there, I will tell you how to deactivate this bomb. Marco came running to security room where that man's bag was being checked. Then he pointed his gun at his boss. He was hesitant to do anything to his boss, but here that other man picks up a pen and stabbed into Ethan's boss's neck and takes his life. Seeing this, Ethan got so angry that he caught hold of that man and asked, "Why did you kill him?" To which the boy replied, "My brother has been kidnapped by those people, and if I don't do all this, then they will kill him." Ethan now contacted Marco and asked him how to deactivate this bomb. As per his advice, he deactivated this bomb and this mission, but at the very last moment, when there were only seconds left the blast of the bomb. On the other hand, we see Elena, who is hurrying towards the airport with a federal agent. When she gets a call from one of her agents, he tells her that the federal agent sitting with her right now is not real. He has been sent by others. The real federal agent has now reached our police station. Hearing this, Elena got scared and he immediately pointed the gun at that other man. That man also increased the speed of the car and tried to cause an accident. The man was successful in getting it done, and in the process, both of them got hurt very badly. This man didn't want that Elena should go to the airport. When we are shown the scene after the accident, The man is still holding Elena by the throat. Elena frees her throat from her hands and then shoots him with her gun and gets out of there. Here Ethan, at the behest of Marco, was taking his suitcase to the cargo of the plane. Here we see that Marco now contacted the man who was taking the bag to cargo with Ethan. He told this man that now he has to do one last thing. His last task was to kill Ethan. On hearing this, he pointed the gun at Ethan from behind, but thankfully Ethan saw all this in the mirror in front and attacked him instead. Here there was a fight going on between these two, and in all this, he repeatedly tried to shoot Ethan, but once the bullet bounced off and he himself got killed. Taking advantage of the situation, Ethan immediately took his mobile and tried to call his wife, but his wife doesn't pick up the phone because she is busy. Leaving his wife, he calls his friend and tells him that his wife's life is in danger, and his friend shows this message to his wife. On seeing this, Nora started calling her husband again and again, but his phone was in the locker. At the right time, we see that Elena had also reached the airport by now. She seized the whole airport as soon as she arrived. While here, Marco had come to the cargo, and as soon as he arrives, he shoots Ethan. Despite being shot, Ethan was running away because the bullet had hit only his leg. Here Marco said to Ethan that I will leave you, just give me my suitcase. Seeing this, Ethan came down and very comfortably handed over the suitcase to Marco. It was found that Elena had also reached the cargo while asking for Ethan's address. By the time Elena reached Ethan pushed her and started running outside. While leaving, he told her that my wife's life is in danger and I'm going to save her. Before leaving, he told her the details of Marco as well. We get to know that Nora had run and reached the parking area and now really had also come there to kill her, because he had hacked everyone's mobile, and he came to know that Ethan had told the truth to Nora. Before he could kill Nora, Ethan comes from behind. Now really was about to shoot, but before that we heard the sound of a gunshot. And really fell down, and we saw that man who was carrying a suitcase to the plane died. His brother was held captive by Riley. It was he who had killed Riley. Just by looking at that man, Ethan understood that he must be the brother of the same boy whom Marco was blackmailing to get his work done. Now Ethan told him the truth that your brother has sacrificed his life to save you. He became very sad on hearing this. The issues are still not resolved. Ethan still had to go and stop Marco somehow. He had to stop Marco from boarding the plane, but it was too late because Marco had already boarded the plane. Here we came to know that Ethan had done a good job by putting a new scanning sticker on Marco's suitcase, so that as soon as he tracks that number, he will know where Marco is at the moment. When the suitcase was scanned, Ethan came to know that Marco has reached the plane. He quickly tells his wife to go inside the airline department and not stop that plane from taking off. I will quickly go and stop Ethan. If the plane doesn't take off, then Marco will definitely blast the bomb right there. I know that I can defuse it. Nora tells this to Elena, who was stopping that plane from taking off. Let it take off. If then plane doesn't take off, Marco will activate bomb. But Ethan has gone in the plane. He knows how to deactivate the bomb. He will handle everything. He has done this before as well. It was seen that Ethan also reached the plane timely, had reached the cargo of the plane. The plane had also taken off. Now Ethan, after opening the suitcase, was trying to defuse the bomb. As soon as he opened the suitcase, Marco got to know about this, and he realized that it was definitely Ethan inside the plane. To save his mission, Marco also comes inside the cargo. As soon as he came here, Marco fired a bullet at Ethan to stop him. This time also the bullet hit Ethan's foot, and after that he moved forward to take his bag. The bag was in the freezer at this time. As soon as he opened the bag, he saw that the bomb didn't have the chemical that destroys everything. It was seen that the chemical was in Ethan's hands. The sound of the gunshot also made the pilot realize that there were some people inside the plane who had weapons. He again turned the plane towards the airport. And here Ethan made a smart move. He stood up and quickly pushed Marco inside the freezer, and after throwing the chemical inside the freezer, he closed the freezer and the chemical exploded here. The chemical made Marco's entire blood dry in just a minute, and he died right there, and thus Ethan's mission became successful. He saved the lives of 2,000 people. As soon as the plane returned, many police came to the plane. Along with Elena, the police had also caught Ethan, but Elena, who knew the whole truth that Ethan is the one who saved everyone here, he asked to leave, and Ethan goes and first of all meets his wife. At the end of the movie, we come to know that Marco was doing all this to kill a Russian officer. But now everyone's life was saved, so everyone celebrates Christmas peacefully, and the story ends here. Thanks for watching.